Hey, Mony Dojeiji is here with us, a very familiar face on Rogers Television. She has a very cool initiative on the go right now. 150 Canadian stories of peace. That's a lot, and that's great, of course, to go along with the 150th birthday of Canada.
Of course.
Mony, how are you?
Excellent. How are you today?
Great to see you on Rogers TV again.
Always good to be here.
Okay, so tell us about this initiative. I mean, who came up with it?
Well, you know, it was one of those things where I was at a meeting it was an organizing meeting for the 150th Peace Festival. So we have a Peace Festival going on this year. And several people were talking at the same time about, you know, we should do something around stories, start collecting stories of peace. And it just so happened that there were 3 or 4 of us who have been working for peace, each in their own way, who said, you know what, let's get together and let's see if we can collect these stories of peace. And that's how it began. Each of us tapping into their own networks and just seeing if we can just start to get the word out about stories of peace, which we all have.
Okay.
We all have stories.
So you're trying to collaborate, now I'm reading this, contribute to a culture of peace. I like this little term that we put on the paper here, culture of peace. What does that mean?
Well, you know, I think many of us believe that we have to do these big things to create this culture of peace. But really, peace is created when individuals do their part to weave that web that creates this culture. I mean, in every moment, every single one of us is, in a way, choosing how we are going to be in the world, how we're going to act. Are we going to choose to react to something from a place of anger and resentment and violence, or are we going to choose to be maybe a little bit more patient, take a deep breath, find a more inspired thought or inspired word than just simply reacting from anger or whatever negative emotion we have. So it's not the big things, and the big things are important. You know, policies and laws, of course, are important. But the focus really of what we're trying to do here is to get individuals to reflect on their own lives and on the stories that they have in their everyday to create peace.
I do love this because I'm a big believer that it takes the same amount of time to do right as to do wrong.
Yeah.
And when you do wrong, you're affecting many people in a very negative, terrible way sometimes.
Yeah.
Do right, help out the world a bit, right?
Well, you know, this is when we talk about creating or weaving this culture of peace, this is exactly what it is. It's oftentimes we just need to take a deep breath just for a moment, just to control the emotions, and then let maybe something a little bit more inspired come out, even if it's to walk away in that moment, you know. And you're an example of this, and I know you've done this many times.
Walked away?
No.
Many times.
Many times.
I got so many stories, Mony, you don't want to hear them.
Well, I want you to submit one for me. Tell me
but
at least
peaceful
one.
ones, yes.
But tell me stories where you actually did choose in a positive way.
Yeah, I do believe, I mean, everything is temporary, right? You know, whatever way you're feeling, anger or jealousy, it's temporary. So you walk away, you take the high road.
Well, exactly. And as I say, it's not really the big things and I think it's great that we have big things that are going on. But, you know, what touched me not long ago is we received a story unexpectedly from a 4-year-old girl, because you know we've reached out to our communities and the people that we know, and the story came from this 4-year-old where her mother had apparently been talking about these stories to someone else, and the little girl, upon hearing this, said, well, I want to submit a story. And the story is so funny. It's basically saying, well, she found her parents were arguing, mom and dad were arguing, you know, they don't always get along maybe as well as they should. And she was saying to him, well, you know, you said you were going to get the laundry. And he's saying, well, you know, you said that you were going to clean out the dishwasher. Well, you said you were going to fix the fridge. And so they were, you know, arguing. And one was saying, well, you make me crazy. Well, you make me even more crazy. And the little girl was saying, well, what can I do to make this better? And so the little girl decided that she would sing a song. And this little girl just went up to her parents. She took the hand of one and the hand of another, and she just started to sing a story of peace, the words that just came to her mind.
That's wonderful.
And from there, the parents obviously just relaxed a little bit and smiled and were able to see what this child was trying to say to them.
That makes me think, well, that just makes me think of the Who's down in Whoville. You know, like a little kid grabbing a certain singing. Anyway, it's cute. But I think that's adorable, right? That's obviously a little story piece. So is this run by volunteers then, this initiative?
We are all volunteers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a three of us. Each of us have worked for peace in their own way. One couple comes at it from the perspective of certifying peace professionals, so that you have a designation called a peace professional. Another is a peace activist, who is an anthropologist as well. I come at it from the perspective of inner peace. I did a 5,000-kilometer walk for peace myself, and so for me it's all about what are you bringing on the inside when you're creating this peace on the outside.
Did you just say 5,000 kilometers?
Yes, I said 5,000.
That's far.
That's far.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
On that.
Thank you.
And congratulations on this initiative. So there isn't a book planned yet. I mean, we're planning to publish a book eventually.
Yes. Chapters, Indigo, we would love to collaborate
Yeah, for sure.
and speak with any Canadian publisher or Canadian bookstore that would be willing to help us publish this book. We're taking submissions. You can send the submissions to 150peacestories@gmail.com. We'd like to have them by July the 1st, so that we can start the preparation process, but if not, I guess we can go until July 31st. That really is the farthest we can go.
How long should the submissions be?
Really, a page.
Yeah.
We don't need more than a page. Times New Roman 12, one page, 3,500 characters, around that. If you want to submit a picture, that's great too, but depending on what the final book looks like, it might get published, it might get not. So,
okay, one more time the email address, because I think that's important.
Yes, it's 150, the numbers 150, peacestories@gmail.com.
All right, and get your submissions in.
Get your submissions
sooner than
in,
later,
one page.
to create an even more peaceful world.
This is it, we create that culture.
I thank you very much, Mony, for being back on Rogers TV and for being a part of this 150 Canadian Stories of Peace.
Thank you so much, Dylan.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Coming up on Daytime, the team from Childhood Cancer Canada join us next. They've got an amazing event coming up. Details on the way.